The news media, when it's caved into the reactive culture, is more numbers driven, especially when it comes to political elections. Rather than measure the pulse of the people and the mood of the people, they go for polls and statistics that best suit them. Hey, I'm Jimi Hendrick, and this is episode 114, Numbers Game on Empower Your Pattern 2.0. Did you know that there are success principles to help you receive more? To help you live a better and extraordinary life right now? Well, I'm Jimi Hendrick, and I'm here as motivational speaker, success, confidence, and thrive coach, self-published author, member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I'm here to teach you these success principles. Let's go. Now, know that this is unusual. We're going to have to wind it back to February 1996. Pictures and Documentaries class. You know, Dr. Jerry Murchison. There was a dialogue going at one point. And he said, folks, in 1980, Bush ran in the Republican presidential primaries and lost. In 1992, he ran for re-election for president and lost. In 1988, he ran for the presidency and won. What's the difference? And of course, I didn't have the proper response back then. Goes back to what I talked about in the previous episode, associations. I basically said he campaigned harder. He redoubled his efforts. And Dr. Jerry Murchison had this, I'm sure to any conservative journalist, he had this smug look on his face and said no. And he takes out his chalkboard and he says, statistics. Open your textbook to blah, 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 blah. See, here's the problem for the past 30 years. And I'm not dismissing polls. There are some good, healthy polls that predict who wins elections. But the problem is, our reactive culture has taken numbers that they think that they can prove with to further their game. But I also remember what during my failed stint in graduate school, what my statistics professor said. When it comes to research and statistics, you can't prove a blank thing. You know, you can't. On occasion, I curse a little bit, but I'm trying to appeal to a larger audience. And so, that really struck me to realize that statistics are used by the reactive culture to be able to prove certain things. But that's because we've gone through reactive personalities more than preactive and proactive leadership. And I remember one weekend around that time, Kevin was taking me for my monthly, for grocery shopping and a monthly haircut. And he told me straight up, he said, Jimmy, come on. Murchison is a political ideologue. He's a reactionary. You know, it kind of makes a point to where, you know, I went to try to see him in April 1996 to help register for classes. He wasn't there. And my friend, of course, On the note on his door, it says, Dr. Harmon is absent for political party business. And my friend Kevin's like, yeah, see? He'll go out and promote his political party when it comes to the students, especially if they're not in line with what he wants. Don't work. And so, this was really the beginning of the writing on the wall for me. That perhaps the study of journalism wasn't such a good idea. The study of journalism wasn't such a good idea, and it became a problem. And when I was taking my minor courses in political science, I felt like I was learning a lot more. Because the numbers, the facts, the research wasn't based on reactivity. It was objective, preactive, and proactive. And in some ways, success is a numbers game, but it's not so much as the reactive culture wants to think it is. It all depends on what you think you have inside you. Are you willing to be preactive and proactive? Or are you just willing to merge with the culture and be reactive? See, that's the problem in our society. And even some of the people that have been my friends with best intentions, I feel like to some degree, past and present, at times that they've been reactive. And so that's one of the things that I warn against in Empower Your Pattern, and especially this numbers game episode. I'm just laying it on to you thick. My friend Kevin, he was a marketing student at Texas Tech University, minoring in mass communications. That's how we met. And see, the thing is, he knew about Dr. Murchison's political op-ed pieces. And I still remember, getting out there at Texas Tech my first semester and reading one of Kevin's op-ed pieces, and I was like, whoa! Hey, he's really slicing through the reactive culture that we got going on. So you see, there you go. Entrepreneurship is a numbers game, but you can't be reactive about it and be a successful entrepreneur. You can't. How can you expect to be reactive and successful at the same time? I'll tell you something. It don't work. It don't work. History is replete. For the past several decades. By several, I mean about 6. Alright? And I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to miff some people, but look, it's got to be said. The Bible. We've taken God and Bible out, and that's removed leadership and replaced it with reactive personalities. And because of that, we have so much social deviances from the norm of the Bible and the laws of the kingdom of God. We've taken out God. We've taken out Christ. And our reactive culture which really has been going on since the dawn of time, but it's been especially noticed the past 30 years of my lifetime. And I'm willing to bet it's gone on longer than that. Since they took prayer out and Bible reading out. I'm not going to get too politically involved in this. But I saw, along with the numbers game, some of the values that Dr. Merce was trying to teach in journalism school. And I'm going to tell you something in later episodes. I'm going to mention some commentaries about that from my late best friend, Keith Cotton. So I want you to be ready. I want you to be ready because this is important. It's important for me to talk to you about this. Generally, in Empower Your Pattern, I try to stay away from controversy as much as possible. But there's times when our reactive culture is doing something I have to call them on it. And that's why I'm here. I hope you've enjoyed listening to Empower Your Pattern 2.0. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part of the Empower Your Pattern citizenry of Pattern Realm. This is Jimi Hendrix saying until next time, don't just sit there and take it. Build your dreams so you can take it. Do what others don't so you can be what others won't. Do what others don't so you can have what others can't. Choose, act, and pursue happiness. And God bless you.